Elvis!
Thank you very much. I'm here to announce the winners of the Easter egg competition. And the winners are, in no particular order, Margaret Cook, Udo, can't say your second name, it's in German, sorry. Also, the other winner would be Kirsty Horn, Jimmy Frew, and Dale.
No!
And Margaret Manasseh. Now, it's a bit funny how there's 5 winners all guessed the date of me and Diane's wedding, 25th wedding anniversary. And of course, we got married in Las Vegas, as you all know, and I was dressed exactly like this. Actually, I'm a liar. I got you there. So these are the lovely eggs that that you're getting, okay? And don't worry, they'll be in pristine condition when you get them. No, Ringo, no! Cut.
Elvis!
Oh, I forgot.
Colin Harvey.
Pleased to meet you, Simon.
Great stuff. Got the place to ourselves today.
Good stuff.
Down here at Pollok.
Aye.
You played Dennis Donnelly before, where we were
No,
today?
that's the first time I've ever been here in my life.
Right, at Dennis Donnelly.
Aye.
You played at Nethercraig's across the road?
No, I've never played there either.
No?
I play at Bella Houston's normally.
On a Friday, that was the first one that you used to. The reason I'm asking is because you're far travelled. You're our most far travelled regular player.
Yes,
for
I think
sure.
Definitely.
Where are you from?
So. I'm from a place called Dalmally, which is near Oban.
Right.
Aye.
I see you raised your voice when you said
I was
that.
excited.
So you travel, you commute
Yes.
for walking football.
On a Friday, yeah.
And you've been doing more than that lately as well.
I've been playing in the wee leagues and stuff over at
The
Tory
wee
Glen.
leagues.
Sorry, the big leagues.
You're going to have to help me.
Professional leagues.
Now I know why you said we can always edit it. So you've been playing for Glasgow.
It's fantastic.
The first thing that comes to mind is the no walking football up your way.
I first started going to walking football 4 years ago in Atlantis Leisure in Oban. It was like low intensity.
Yes.
And for anybody that's interested in taking up walking football, I lasted 10 minutes and I had to sit down.
Right. Too excited?
Couldn't breathe. I was right, but I never gave up and I just kept going.
That was walking football. Low intensity walking football.
Low intensity, the lowest intensity you could get walking football in a tiny wee indoor pitch. And
what a state you were in, buddy.
I was, aye. So
and is that seriously? Is that because of lack of exercise? You were just so unfit.
There was lack of exercise, and I had put on a lot of weight.
Right.
So I'm so thin now, as you can see.
Yeah. Well, we can do a lot with the edit.
Aye, that's it.
I'm not sure we've got that kind of trickery up our sleeve right enough, Colin. No, you're fit now. You were playing for the Glasgow over 50s the last few weeks as well. And travelling down from Dalmally.
Yes.
Almost weekly now.
Well, what happened was I started going to the Kelvin Hall, and it used to be in the Kelvin Hall on a Tuesday.
Right.
Right, and I done that because...
This is pre-lockdown then?
This is before the lockdown.
Okay.
And so after I'd done the low intensity in Oban, I got fitter and a wee bit fitter, and I could start moving, and then I wanted to play like with
better players.
Maybe watch what I'm saying now. Better players, but guys, if you're watching, I'm still looking for the better players.
No, you've reached the peak now, Colin.
Anyway,
you're not exactly a diplomat, are you?
I'm just kidding. Anyway, so the reason why I done the Tuesday thing, Kelvin Hall, was because I was looking after my Alzheimer's mother and my brain damaged father, so it's terrible, isn't it? And they had moved into my house so I could care for them. And
in Dalmally?
In Dalmally, while I was working as well and doing that. Okay. And what I done was I got carers in on a Tuesday. I found out about the football first, and I got the carers in on the Tuesday, and I thought I spent the whole day playing football, travelling.
So it was a bit of respite for you to get a wee day away. What it was.
And then when I got there was Jim Russell was there, and he was doing the same thing, watching his mum.
His mum, the Easter bride.
So I felt, well, I'm not the only one that maybe does that just to get...
And Jim could only play the morning sessions because he went straight to Easter bride to look after his mum.
Right. So, and the funny thing was, when we had the lockdown, and I came back after 2 years, and it just so happened Jim had turned up at Bellahouston where I was playing, and both my parents had passed away during the lockdown, and Jim's mum had passed away as well, sort of thing. So we've probably got through similar.
Probably about a year ago now.
Aye, that's right.
But I see what you mean about still looking for the higher standard. If Jim Russell's your
that's it. I'm practically giving up now, you know.
Aye. Don't copy his shooting, that's all I can say. We can't afford the football.
Have you seen my shooting? God. Especially penalties, so we'll not win there.
Your shooting is good defending, that's what I call it.
All right, aye, that's
a positive. That's putting a positive spin on it.
Aye, thanks very much, Simon.
So take us back a wee bit here then to pre-Dalmally maybe. Have you always lived in Dalmally?
No, I was brought up in Easterhouse.
Right.
Sorry.
I knew there was something about you.
I was brought up in Easterhouse. And also I started work when I was 8 years old. Right, because my mum and dad had a stall at the Barras.
Right.
And so that was my life way back then.
What did they sell?
Bric-a-brac and books, records. I loved it. We had a record stall and a book stall and a bric-a-brac stall. And I loved the record stall.
Have you ever heard of a band called Pavlov's Dog?
No.
Maybe.
Don't know.
Maybe. When I was a teenager, they brought out their first album and I had it. And in those days, it was you could go in to listen. I always went in to listen on Byers Road and went through the albums.
I was listening in Union Street.
I had bands like Gong and Hawkwind and all that, but I had Pavlov's Dog's only album. And it was brilliant, especially with drinking as a teenager. But I'd lost it. I got lost in amongst the flips and the moves, and probably one of my wives threw it out. And 30, 40 years later, I was in the Barras, when the Barras was a thing. Have you been up lately, Colin?
I've not been to the Barras for 30 years, so
don't go, because it's so sad now.
Is it? Aye.
It's gone. Still there, but there's nothing happening. It's derelict.
It was good when Big Ernie's stall was there anyway.
Right. And I was walking through the aisles, you know, the old in the Barras itself, in amongst the stalls, and there's a record stall. And as I was passing by, I looked across, and what's the chances? You know, there's maybe 100 albums like that facing
definitely,
and there's only one that can be at the front.
What do you think it was? You're joking now.
Right. And it caught my eye, because it's got the dog on the cover with a gramophone record, and it caught my eye, and I saw the guy looking at me, and I kept going, and I walked past it. And then I came back, started browsing a different pile of it. See if he had seen my eyes, he would have known
I would
have paid anything for it. Just about.
I'd have gave you it for 25p if it was in my dad's stall.
I was going through them, and then I went through that pile as well, and I took a few out, and I asked him the price of a couple of them, and I think it was 40p. And then I took Pavlov's Dog. I said, much for that one? And he said, 40p. And I think my hand was shaking. Can you get the money out quick enough? A fiver, tempted to say, keep the change, 40p. I don't know if I've listened to it. I think I listened to it once, but I've got it. It's something I love.
Get yourself a bottle of whiskey.
It's one of them.
Those were the days. The music was great in the Barras. See the music, the record stall played all the records. It was just so fantastic.
So you were brought up about the Barras at the weekend?
Well, that was my life, you know, as far as funnily enough, as far as football's concerned, right? How can you play football on a Saturday or a Sunday when you're in the Barras, you know? Otherwise, who knows what level I'd have got to.
So you never played then? What school did you go to then?
I went to Blair Tummock and I played in the school. I got into the school team when I was 9. And I played a wee bit, but that was it really. So.
Not through secondary either, because you were working?
I didn't play in secondary, partly because I was working, but partly because
You're rubbish.
I was going to say I was a wee bit frightened maybe, but I was rubbish as well.
What were you frightened of? The big boys?
No, I suppose a wee bit. So
you bullied?
A wee bit, I think I kind of got quite bad with anxiety.
Okay.
And
as a teenager.
Like all through my life really, but it started when I was at school. But the thing I discovered years later that it's actually a thing. You know, it's a kind of inner city.
It's a condition.
Inner city anxiety thing, and it makes it quite hard to go and meet people or talk. And part of the football thing as well. that's all part of trying to beat the anxiety and everything. It's really quite helped me quite a lot actually.
Colin, to me, you're a guy that travels down here, dedicated, loves the football. You're always going on about it. You've got a business in Dalmally that we'll come back to, family. You looked after your mum and dad. For you to say to me that you suffered all your life, you're saying, from anxiety, rings alarm bells in my head, because if you're suffering anxiety, there must be lots of other people. Well, what does it mean? What does it mean?
So I've actually proactively tried to beat the anxiety by no taking tablets.
Describe anxiety to me.
Right, okay, it's quite easy.
Definition.
It's quite easy, right? For me, and everybody might be different, right?
Yes.
But I call it washing machine stomach, right? Your head might say to you, why are you so nervous? There's no reason to be nervous. So it's a nervousness? Aye, there's no reason to be nervous. But
anxious?
But the stomach is going like anything, for no reason. I can't explain it, other than that years later when I went to see about it, I got explained to me that when, see when you're young and how it was explained to me was you go out the door, right, and there might be a fight, you might get in a fight. Right, there's that anger and everything, and then you come home, you were fighting, smack, or you go to school.
This all sounds very familiar.
I don't know if any other people have got that sort of thing, right? So I've spent a lot of my time no going to anything. I wouldn't go to anything.
In case of that?
I was just nervous, and I couldn't explain it. I didn't know what it was. And then when I got it all explained to me...
So is it social? Is it a social thing? Being in company?
Aye, everything like that. It's people you don't know.
Doing this?
Aye, well, see, this is part of what I'm trying to conquer, if you see what I mean.
Okay.
I'm on a kind of mission.
So you go over the anxiety?
Well, what it is I'm not going to let the anxiety...
see, if I said to you that I think, from
anymore.
what you've just said to me, I think we all suffer anxiety.
Aye,
right?
You're probably right.
But... most of us, well, I don't know where the most of us comes from, but as from my side, I get anxious if I was going for an interview, if I was going to meet a new woman, which will never happen again now, obviously. If I was public speaking, I haven't done real public speaking now for a few years, so no doubt the first time I do it again, depending on the audience, there'll be an anxiety there. Doing things like this live, I still do them on television sometimes, and that's but I think of them as times when it's okay to be anxious. I said to somebody, I think I said to somebody today, if you didn't have butterflies in your stomach, it wouldn't be any good. See, going into court to give evidence, I used to say to young cops, I'd say, you nervous? Yes. Good. Because that gets you on top of your game. See, if you were blasé about it, that's when you make mistakes.
But I think, what I'm trying to say here is that you're saying that's normal, right? Yes. But you see, what you've got to do then is, make sure you go, or don't duck out of it. Because it's normal.
That's
the point. But see, if you don't click on it's normal, then it starts affecting you. Sort of
and you start getting into your shell, not opening your mouth and speaking.
So I'm trying to. I've been.
Do you think that's a natural thing that you've as part of your DNA, or do you think it's to do with the way to do with the bullying?
I think it's a lot to do with that and
different things.
I think it is. There'll be a lot of people who are brought up in places like that and find it quite tough, and it affects you,
Of course.
You maybe don't realise it. It's not years later, and that.
What did you do for a living then?
So when I talked to barras, then I started.
Did you chuck the barras, or did the family business?
No, my dad ended up. We moved. We were the only people in Easterhouse, I reckon, that had a holiday house in Helensburgh.
Wow. Wow.
Right, so...
You sold it yet? I bet it's worth a fortune now.
It wasn't a mansion, put it that way, it wasn't it's no Mark Haley's house, put it that way. But anyway, so the proceeds of the barras, my mum bought a wee holiday house in Helensburgh, and then Easterhouse got really bad, we had no winter, but it got really bad, so we all bailed to the room in the kitchen. But when I was 17.
When were you born?
1960.
Right. So the mid-70s.
Aye, so.
Yeah.
So we moved down there. So I actually, I got a job at the Helensburgh Advertiser.
Yes,
so I was a printer. And
did you still go to school and you got Hermitage?
No, I went to school in Easterhouse.
You left school before you went to Helensburgh?
I left school on a Friday, like a lot of guys. Friday started working Monday.
Yeah, me too.
Doing the printing. So I done that, and that was good. So I done that.
Good trade.
I worked there for 8 years, and we started a works football team.
Right.
So I got to play. Football always comes and gets you, doesn't it?
Aye, for sure.
So that went on for about 4 or 5 years, just playing friendlies and wee tournaments and stuff. That was great.
Living in Helensburgh?
Aye, but
with your parents?
No, I don't want to get into it, but I got married really young and, and all that. So I was married and all that by that time.
Okay.
Living in Dumbarton.
Dumbarton. How would you talk about Dumbarton?
Aye. So that was good. So I worked in the newspapers there. And
I'm saying that because we're going to play Dumbarton in a friendly. So
a
charity tournament, so I need to wind them up early.
Put my name down for that one.
That's a short joint for you.
What's that?
Dumbarton?
Aye, that's it. That's
halfway.
I'll get there in no time at all.
So Dumbarton, still in Dumbarton?
Yeah.
Were you still in Dumbarton?
I'd moved to Dumbarton. I was living in Dumbarton when I was working in the printers there.
Okay, and then where?
My job took me up to Oban. So that's
Oban Times?
No. I went to Oban and got a job in the printers in Oban. It wasn't the Oban Times, just the commercial printers. I was the print room manager. And,
okay. I started because I had a brother-in-law who worked for the Oban Times as a printer.
Oh, is that right?
David McTaggart, his name was.
Right,
He's in Australia now. He moved away to Australia. He ran away with his babysitter. But
did he?
That's from another channel.
Get him in for an interview.
No, that's a different channel altogether.
Get him in.
We don't have big lights at that channel either.
We all want to know the story there, don't we?
Okay, so football throughout that?
I should have said I did play for the police. My pal was in the police, and when I was in Dumbarton, in the L Division.
What was his name?
Brian Hughes. He was involved in music as well. Maybe you've heard him. Brian Hughes and the Loan Sharks, I think he's called.
The Loan Sharks, and that figures.
Anyway, so he used to come in the squad car and pick me up.
Right.
The neighbours were they're all at the curtains.
Curtains are twitching like mad.
Good use of police vehicles to
They must have been quite good because the police, we always get the best ringers.
Well, I would never describe myself as what it was they were shorter players, and that's it. So they would come and get me. So I must have played about half a dozen games for the L Division.
For the actual divisional team?
Must have been. No, I just done what I say. I played left back or something.
Aye.
And we played in Edinburgh. That was great. And the standard was really high. Mm-hmm. The team we were playing against,
the thing about Polish
teams,
we were talking about it the day. Jack Walker was telling me a story about a Polish team today that's almost unbelievable. But the thing was, every team we played really wanted to beat us. It was always very competitive. You must have noticed
I enjoyed it.
For them.
I loved it. I'll tell you.
Because the guys you're playing against didn't know you weren't a copper. You're a copper for the day.
I suppose so. So that was that. So where were we? I moved to Oban. That's it.
Okay, and then Dalmally.
So what I done was I got a chance to build my own house. Got bought a wee plot and built a wee house and I moved to Dalmally.
That's where you are now.
Aye.
Okay. Retired from did you get a wee package from the printers? Because printing's changed so much over the years, hasn't it?
I started off with a hot metal thing with the I don't know if you know, but it was all like cast metal and everything, And then it went
to
technology. It was great, And then the technology all changed. So, but I used to travel from Dalmally. By that time I was working at Fort William printers. That was good money, and it helped me pay for building a house. And then now I'm running a wee shop.
You still do any printing at all?
No.
Because we could do with some t-shirts and flags.
No, didn't do.
No, any deals going?
No, nothing going at all.
You're dropped to the pot.
No good for anything. No, good for nothing. Good for nothing.
So your mum and dad are gone now, they passed
away? Both of them passed away within 11 months here, just in the last 82 years, something
right.
Like that.
COVID related?
No. they just died.
Okay. So what about the caring situation, and how long were you involved in?
I looked after my mum and dad for about 3.5 years or something like that. They moved into a converted part of the house, so they had their own wee apartment.
Excellent.
And I looked after them, and I'm so glad I done that. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Well, my daughter passed away in 2011 now, Colin, that's 11 years ago, but the last 2 years of her life I was with her pretty much the whole time. I slept on the hospital floor, and like you, it's valuable time that I would need to change for anything.
Well, I do know how you feel, because I lost a son as well, so I do know.
What age was he? What's his name?
19. Stuart.
Stuart. Oh, my.
That was a long time. Do you know, I couldn't tell you when it happened, because I just try and not think about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I blotted it out, but it's a long time ago.
Well, I'm not going to bring it all back.
No, it's there, isn't it?
Yes.
You know,
yes.
But see, there's a thing as well, right? You think, it's just me, there you.
Yeah.
See, it's not just you.
And it's part of the walking football. You know, I've got you on the WhatsApp thing now. Aye. What I've discovered time and time again is that our age group, you know, I know we've got over 50s, over 60s, over 70s, but our demographic, if you like, mostly retired.
Yeah.
There's hardly anything that you could bring up, disaster in your life or event in your life, from birth to marriage to bereavement, that we've not had between us.
I think that's right.
The wealth of experience, and it's on tap. Because as soon as you say to this demographic that something's going on in your life, they gather round.
Oh, definitely, that's all part of it as well. It's not just the football.
It's a big support network.
I've came here for the first time for a wee cup of tea and all. I like that as well. Like, you know
why you were invited? Because somebody told me you were a printer and you could get us t-shirts and stuff.
Sorry.
That was your bit in the network.
It was newspapers was my speciality. Sorry about that, guys.
So what's the future hold then as far as the walking football is concerned, Colin? Are we going to get a friendly up the road?
I think that'd be a good idea if you could come up. I play in Oban as well, kind of low intensity stuff.
What day do they play?
We play on a Thursday, so it's off at the moment.
Such are the numbers down here in Glasgow, and such are our connections with all the teams, with Giffnock and all that. Giffnock are a year old on Sunday. That we can put a team of any level. You heard today, Russell said we could get a Parkinson's team together. They've never played a game, and they want to play a friendly. So we could get a women's team, we could get a Glasgow Pollok select team, we can do whatever we want. You just pick a day.
Well, what I'll do is there's a guy called Mark that runs it in Argyll. He's in charge of that level of football in Argyll.
For Glasgow Life?
You know him? No, it's Argyll Sport or something.
I
think he's
affiliated
to SFA or something.
Yes, it's the same thing.
That's right.
And there's also Russell Anderson at Argyll that we could maybe get a wee three-way tournament.
Yes, that would.
Maybe do it in Argyll.
I think that might be a good idea actually. Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's explore that further.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So you're down here Wednesday. Who are you playing for?
Glasgow Life. I think it's the 50s on Wednesday, is it?
No, 60s.
60s on Wednesday. Glasgow Life, 60s.
What age are you again?
I'm 62.
Right, just me.
That's a lie, actually. I'm 61. I'm 62 this year.
Bring your passport. You need to bring it anyway. You get down through Dalmally, don't you?
Definitely. I'll bring that with you.
Colin, it's been great talking to you. I'm just a wee bit conscious that we might have left something on the table here with the anxiety. Because it seems to me it might be a very common thing.
I think so. That's why I mentioned it. I just thought maybe if anybody's... See, what I'm trying to say is if anybody watches this and the anxiety's stopping them coming, then come along and if you've seen, come talk to me.
Have you got a strategy to get around that then, or is it just face it up to it?
It was quite hard just to turn up. When I went to the Kelvin Hall thing, when I first... That was, I mean, honestly, I was shaking my leaf, but I made myself go because I thought to myself, why should that stop me playing football?
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I done it because I've met so many guys, and it's just.
And you've been at lots of walking football sessions with lots of different people now. In fact, you've been at Tory Glen with 800 players were there last weekend. Do you find it breaks down those barriers? Just the fact that it's football. Does it make it easier?
I think as you touched on earlier, at our age we've all been through everything. We've all had different things have happened to us and everything. And the football, it's just a wee escape, isn't it, from everything? You know, for me anyway. So I think, and then what you do is you're during the week you're thinking, when's my next game?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Something to look forward to and all that, you know.
Stuart Campbell, goalkeeper Stuart Campbell from Drumchapel, author Stuart Campbell.
Oh, right.
Did you see his interview?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
You should watch his interview.
I will watch
I think Stuart's 72 or 73.
I met him today anyway.
No, different Stuart Campbell.
Alright, okay.
Right, it's from the Drumchapel.
Alright, okay.
He's about 10 times more agile than the Stuart Campbell today. But Stuart the author,
yes.
Right, and he said that he gets nervous. He gets really bad with nerves before the game. At 72 or 73 years of age, because he doesn't want to let anybody down. I think goalkeeping's even worse for that, because I think so. One mistake, right, you know, and you've got to pass it out all the time and try and be careful. But that's what he said. And he plays a blinder every time I see him. He's still very critical of himself.
I'll talk to him then about that. Yeah. That's a good idea.
And I think what you'd find is that a lot of people have got something to get over to get here. And see the people that are harsh on others on the park. Come on, you can do better than that and all that stuff. They don't realise that there's people there who are only there through force of will. And stuff like that could put them off. Somebody shouting at them.
What I would say is, though, if somebody's actually that doesn't bother me, funnily enough, because I'm harsher on myself than they could be on me. I know I made a mistake. Just so
you don't rise to it?
No, I don't. I don't rise. I don't.
I generally do.
I don't.
I didn't know I was anxious.
Alright.
And I hate bullies.
Oh, I know that's.
And it's a form of bullying on the park, isn't it?
I hate that myself, I have to say. Yeah.
We'll solve all the problems of the world here.
There we go.
Right, safe journey up the road. You're meeting your son to go back up the road?
I'm meeting my son and he's coming to stay the weekend.
The Oban train up the road tonight.
6 o'clock.
Brilliant. Have a lovely Easter weekend.
Alright, I will do. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming and chatting to us.
Thanks, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Cheers.